Break it down with Bordick.
Well, last year the Orioles were matched up with the Kansas City Royals here at Kauffman Stadium, and I told a story about Caleb Joseph, who had some very interesting ties to the Kansas City Royals. Today's guest on Break It Down with Bordy, Orioles catcher Caleb Joseph. Tell us about that story, Caleb.
Well, my dad grew up in Kansas City, and his father, my grandfather, was the leading pharmaceutical rep for Ewing Kauffman, who the stadium is named after. Marion Laboratories is what Ewing Kauffman kind of started, and they became really close. And for years and years, my dad and his three brothers would come to games. They would come to each game and sit down on the front row and watch the team, and they became Royal fans really quickly. And occasionally they would get invited to go back into the suite with Mr. Kauffman, and they really enjoyed it. And so growing up in Tennessee, I was a Braves fan just because of TBS, but deep down my dad was always rooting for the Royals. So turned out that, you know, when I was a young kid, we were Royals fans, and whenever I was in the little leagues, our team was we were the Royals. So strange ties, and it's good to be back.
So these are the actual seats, this area, actually just a row in front of us. Do you have some great memories sitting up here?
Each summer, my dad would plan out what he would call a baseball road trip, and we would hit various cities, and of course every year we would make sure to hit Kauffman Stadium and the Kansas City Royals. And I vividly remember walking up the circle steps that are unique to this stadium and being able to come into the park, and you can't get up those steps fast enough when you're a little kid because you're anticipating the game and you want to watch them so badly. But I vividly remember them playing the Yankees one of these trips and sitting in these exact seats, and I'm pretty sure it was Derek Jeter. It always sounds better when it's Derek Jeter, but I'm pretty sure he hit a foul ball up here, and I can vividly remember reaching over the rail right here, and it's a pretty steep incline up here, and I vividly remember reaching over the rail to try and grab that foul ball, and the only thing holding me back from falling over was my dad grabbing my the back of my pants. So pretty crazy. And I remember walking out here when we first arrived here last year for the playoffs and being in the dugout and looking up here and remembering, goodness, like, you know, 20 years ago I was a fan sitting in those seats, and it's pretty special to be able to be a player here.
You got your experience last year at the major league level, and many thought the MVP of last season when Matt Wieters went down. You stepped in and became one of the best defensive catchers in the game. But it wasn't like that all the time. I mean, you really had to work and improve yourself through the minor leagues. What were some of the steps that it took for you?
And just never give up. And I've told this to many players that I played with that are still grinding it out, and even my little brother that's in Bowie. You know, as long as you have a pair of cleats on your back and a jersey on your back, you've got a chance. And so it wasn't easy. Wasn't fortunate to be drafted in the first round and just kind of make it up really quickly. I had to really endure a lot of stuff in the minor leagues, but it all happened for a reason, and it made me extremely grateful for the opportunity I have now. It's things like perseverance and learning how to deal with failure and learning how to manage what little money you have. It's all kinds of well-rounded things that make people very complete. And so when you get here, it's extra sweet. But there were times when you know you want to hang it up, but you know that driving force to make your dreams come true was really the main thing. And then having a good supporting cast and family and friends and obviously my wife that has been extremely important, and they were extremely encouraging to me as well. So we're extremely glad to be here, and you know, it's a dream come true still, even to this day.
So obviously that driving force, that focus gets you to the major leagues. Now you've got to prove yourself and stay. There are many people that say it's easy to make it to the major leagues. The hardest thing is staying and proving yourself. Well, not only have you been here for your second year, but you're capitalizing on it. Your offense's production is much better. You continue to play great defense. How do you continue to get yourself better at this level?
Yeah, you've got to take every opportunity and every instance. You got to learn from it. And when you do things well, you got to continue to learn. Okay, what did I do well? And how do I repeat that? And then when you're not doing things well, how do I get back on track quickly? Because for me personally, the real difference between guys in AAA and the big leagues is of course, there's a handful of superstars like Machado and Adam Jones that are just super talented players. But the main difference between me and AAA guys is just being able to make that adjustment quicker and who can make it the fastest. And so you're always trying to adjust, and being able to lean on Matt Wieters for a lot of, scouting reports and just asking him tons of questions because of his experience has helped a lot too. So when you add all those things together, you start to kind of, I'm not going to say figure it out because you never figure it out in this game, but you feel more confident in what you're able to do, and you can spend your time in other areas such as hitting or anything that you really want. But as long as you keep learning, you'll be fine.
Well, Caleb Joseph is certainly taking advantage of his opportunities and establishing himself as one of the better major league catchers in the game today. Thanks a lot, Caleb Joseph.